Hey guys, it's Salvaje from the Salvaje Cartel, and I'm back at it again with another Fortnite Save the World in-depth weapon review. We're going to be reviewing the Gunger Blaster, and of course, if you guys want to use my supporter creator code Salvaje, I would highly appreciate that. A couple of you guys have told me that you have been using my code, and again, I am very thankful. Let's get into the Gunger Blaster review. For the most part, the Gunger Blaster specializes at high amounts of damage. At the medium ranges, it does some pretty good damage, and at the short ranges, it basically just melts anything in its way. And from what I've seen and throughout my time using this weapon, testing it throughout different modes with different heroes, this thing is just gonna hit hard, honestly, no matter what setup you're gonna be rocking. I just want to let you guys know, however, that I did review this weapon with full legendary perks. And the reason why I decided to put out this review, even though I only used the weapon with full legendary perks, is because throughout my time using this weapon, I realized that this weapon, whether it has blue perks or whether it has legendary perks, it's just going to be one of those weapons that, again, are just going to hit really hard. It's a weapon like the Bundle Bus, for example. The Bundle Bus, when it doesn't have full legendary perks, hits really hard. But when it has full legendary perks, it hits even harder and performs at an outstanding level. That's basically the Gunger Blaster, and I definitely do think that you probably want to take this weapon to maxed out legendary perks, or you at least want to get the critical rating on this weapon all the way up to legendary, because I really do believe also that when it comes down to the recommended perks for this weapon, you should go for a critical rating, critical damage build, you know, since you can run double critical damage on the weapon. It just makes the weapon really amazing, and again, the weapon hits for a ton of damage. But of course, I want to talk about what sort of holds back the weapon, because even though this weapon is pretty amazing when it comes down to damage numbers, I did realize some inconsistencies with the weapon that I should probably let you guys know about. You definitely don't want to be using this weapon at the close ranges if, of course, you are overwhelmed by Husk or there are a lot of basic Husk basically coming towards you. And let's talk about that, right? One of the things that I noticed as I was using the weapon is that sometimes I was basically wasting the weapon's potential by using it against basic Husk. Since this is just a heavy hitting weapon, you most likely want to use this weapon against Husky Husk or basically mist monsters, like for example blasters, takers, and smashers. Another reason why you don't want to be using this weapon against basic Husk is because something that I realized is that sometimes I would try to shoot a basic Husk. Let's say that I would miss 2 bullets, I would only have 4 bullets left, which basically meant that, well, I was just, again, wasting the weapon's potential and not using it to the fullest extent. So, again, make sure that you use this thing against Husky Husk and, of course, mist monsters and just high priority targets, I guess you could say. Another thing that I noticed about the Gunger Blaster that makes it a really good pistol is the range. The range isn't actually that bad, and I found myself a lot of times just shooting Husk from like about a 5-tile range and actually doing some pretty decent damage to them. Well, keep in mind, I did have full legendary perks, but again, I really do feel like this weapon would still perform really well with blue perks, for example. And for the most part, when it comes down to, you know, just how the weapon feels, it feels pretty good. Although I definitely have to say I'm really used to using the last word pistol, so I found myself, of course, sort of like hip firing a lot with this pistol, and that would basically lead to a couple of missed shots, basically on my part, because I don't have super aimbot type aim. I probably just have like maybe above average aim when it comes down to Save the World Husk. And that's another thing that I want to talk about. The hip fire on this weapon is actually pretty amazing, but you probably want to be hip firing from about 3 tiles long, so of course you don't miss your shots. You know, hip firing from 5 tiles away, it can sometimes lead to you missing your shots, like I previously said. Last but not least, I just want to drop some personal opinion in this weapon review. So I have my last word schematic leveled up to 106 with critical rating all the way up to legendary, and even though my last word doesn't have full legendary perks like this Gunger Blaster, I definitely think that my last word still hits very well. The point that I'm trying to make is, if you have a last word schematic leveled up to 106 and you have already invested a couple of legendary perk up in that last word, quite honestly, I don't really think you need to hurry up when it comes down to leveling up the Gunger Blaster, okay? And the reason for that is because I really do believe that the DPS that the last word puts out can definitely rival, of course, the Gunger Blaster. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to be getting consistent 100k damage shots constantly like you're going to be getting with the Gunger Blaster, for example. But since the last word has a high DPS, you know, for the most part, you're going to be able to just dish out some reliable damage. And that's just my opinion. Since I have a last word pistol that performs really well, I'm not going to be putting in my schematic XP on this Gunger Blaster anytime soon, because of course I want to put my schematic XP on something else, like the brand new shotgun. By the way, if you guys have any of the brand new medieval weapons except the Hemlock and the Basilisk, which I have already made a weapon review on, and if you want to check that out, check out the Save the World weapon review playlist in the description. But yeah, just let me know in the comment sections, you know, I'll add you. You can of course give me the weapons, one of the medieval weapons, one of the new ones, so that of course I can review it, and I don't have to be grinding out that schematic XP. Anyways, when it comes down to the star rating, I'm definitely gonna give this weapon a 4 out of 5 stars. Okay, it does the job very, very well. Okay, high, massive amounts of damage, 100k plus hits when you have it at full legendary perks. And honestly, the only reason why I'm not giving this weapon a 5-star rating is because it definitely has a weakness that's definitely very noticeable. You're not going to be able to, of course, dish out super fast amounts of DPS with this weapon when there's a lot of basic husk around you. And something like a Hemlock Assault Rifle can of course help you out when it comes down to taking out all of the small basic husk that might be overwhelming your team. But again, a really great weapon. If you guys enjoyed the review, feel free to drop it a like and check out the Save the World weapon review playlist down in the description for my coverage on the medieval weapons. Stay tuned for some more weapon reviews, and I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Peace out.